Mission 20, the final mission of my Kuban campaign. We're going to support our ground troops at Starotitarovskaya. Soviet forces have now retaken the Taman Peninsula. There's just a small pocket of German troops left to the north. The rest of the Wehrmacht have retreated to Crimea. I'm heading out in the La-5 for this mission from Anastasievskaya west towards Starotitarovskaya to protect our ground troops stationed there from German air attack. We've just taken off from Anastasievskaya. The squadron is in the process of forming up. We will climb on our way to Starotitarovskaya, aiming to get to an altitude of 3,000 meters. We are approaching Starotitarovskaya now at 3,000 meters altitude. Clear skies today. The sun is very bright at my high 10 o'clock. Good conditions for spotting enemy aircraft, which are likely to be coming in from the west, which is straight ahead, or from the northwest, which is at my 2 o'clock. That is Starotitarovskaya, and there are the ground troops that we're protecting. We have spotters in the area and they've identified enemy planes inbound at our 12 o'clock. Time to break formation and engage. I've got eyes on the bandits now. They're about 10 kilometers away, but we're closing fast. The rest of my squadron went for a head-on attack but missed. There are some escort fighters dropping in. It's a flight of Stukas. Let's see if I can knock them out. That's one section dispersed. The front section is also turning away. That's half his wing blown off, Stuka down. That's all of the Stukas turned away. I think the escorts may have gone with them. There are some planes around me here, but it looks like mostly friendlies. Starotitarovskaya looks clear. Just heard from the spotters that there are more enemy aircraft approaching from the Sea of Azov to the northwest. So I'm going to head out there and investigate. I'm having a look for those bandits as I approach the coastline. I've got some MG damage to my right wing, must have been from the Stukas. Okay, bandits spotted at my 10 o'clock. Looks like some escort fighters and some bombers underneath them. I'm dropping onto their 6. I don't have much time here, but let's see if I can push them off. Just about got hits on all of the bombers there, hoping I did enough to turn them away. The bombers are indeed egressing, having jettisoned their load. I'm going to chase after the bombers as they egress and see if I can take some down. That's one of his flaps heading my way. I'm going to dodge that. Didn't manage to take them down, but they are heavily damaged. Just assessing the situation here. I've got some planes at my high 12, and I think it's the rest of my squadron engaging with the escort fighters. I've got 20 rounds of ammunition left. I'm still keen to take down one of the bombers, so I'm going to head west and see if I can find them. There's nothing on my 6, and I don't think any of the escorts are trying to engage me. I'm clear to pursue the bombers as they head towards the Kerch Strait. Breaking off, that's all my ammunition gone. It looks like the bomber is going down. There's the bomber splashing down. Time to egress. I'm going to stay at treetops just in case any enemy fighters follow me back. Some of the other bombers I damaged have made it back to base and are preparing to land. but the damage is too severe. This one can't maintain altitude and ends up in the water. Here's another bomber dropping his landing gear, making his final preparations to land. But he can't hold the turn and crashes. I'm about to pass over Starotitarovskaya as I egress. So let's check on our ground troops there. They all look okay, no damage seen, successful mission. As I'm heading back to base, I'm going to share my thoughts on the Kuban DLC single-player career mode. On the plus side, I think the environment has been well created. There's a good mix of land and sea, waterways and hills, and it's a real pleasure to fly around. The plane set has some good variety in it, with the American Lend-Lease planes, and the powerful La-5 is a real game changer. The balance between German and Soviet forces is fairly even. The missions are challenging without being overwhelming. On the downside, it's a huge negative that there are no anti-ship missions in the single-player career. I'm sure there's a good technical reason why they're not included. It's a real shame, and it would have taken the career mode to another level. There's a lot of mission repetition. You do get that with other DLCs, but it's especially noticeable in Kuban because the front line is static until the final month of the battle. And finally, there seem to be some broken ground targets on the map. Often you'll get a mission to bomb a bridge, which turns out to be a river crossing that's already been destroyed. There are also some factory buildings in the game that don't seem to have a destruction animation associated with them. You can bomb them, but you don't get the sense that they've been destroyed or that you've even hit them. Overall, I'm going to give the Kuban DLC career mode a score of 3.5 stars out of 5. Mission accomplished. I've been credited with 5 aircraft destroyed, the Stuka and 4 of the bombers. Really happy with that for the final mission of the campaign. The rest of the squadron did okay. 1 plane lost in exchange for 1 escort fighter shot down. Thanks for watching this series. I'm going to leave you with the cutscene for the end of the Kuban campaign.
The evacuation of German forces from the Taman Peninsula marked the end of the Battle of Kuban. Because the Wehrmacht retreated to Crimea, the battle is a Soviet victory. However, the failure of Soviet forces to quickly breach the German defenses for several months had consequences. The German 17th Army in Kuban suffered manageable losses, and its evacuation saved it from complete destruction. Their escape delayed the decisive battle for Crimea until spring 1944. Nevertheless, the valuable experience gained by the Soviet Air Force during the spring fighting in the Kuban region allowed it to help repel the German onslaught in the Battle of Kursk. Valuable lessons learned in the Kuban, along with new tactics and better aircraft, would help the Red Air Force to be more effective in future Soviet offensives. The air battle over Kuban was a harsh but necessary school for Soviet pilots that allowed the VVS to achieve air superiority and eventual victory over the Luftwaffe. The air war continues on with no end in sight. Many more brave men will perish in the skies of Eastern Europe.